Peace. Today is Monday the 11th, making today's math, knowledge, all being born to wisdom. Have others acknowledge your knowledge through your wisdom, which are your wise words. Peace. Peace. Welcome back to the YANADAMEEN GODCAST. I am your host, Lord Jamar.
And I'm Digga.
And once again, with the show shall win, we back for some more discussion of hip-hop and life and culture.
What's going on with my microphone?
Yeah, fix that motherfucker so they can hear you properly.
I think I need to slide over or something. There you go.
And now she's still in frame, Harold. Let's make sure that she's still in frame properly.
Okay.
Because your braids is laid. Make sure the mic is always to that side. Yeah, you want to be on. There you go. There you go.
Okay.
She good?
Good money?
Good money.
All right.
Looking beautiful as always.
Thank you.
Those blades, are they hurting your scalp? They look like they might be a little tight.
They are tight, but they're not like I need a headache. I mean, I have a headache.
You don't play those games.
Yeah, nah. I'm like, yo, that's easy.
Yeah. Because when I had dreads, that's kind of part of what made me cut them. Is towards the end, I started getting them braided. And like, first of all, wifey was braiding them, and she was doing that shit mad tight. Like, god damn, like, that shit was hurting. But anyway, like, when you braid it,
really pulls your hair out.
Well, it was, but it was also, I think that helped to thin my shit in the front. But it also caused new growth, like, mad fast. So now it looked like I'm having a half dreads, half afro fucking thing going on. I said, oh, no, this ain't gonna work. We gonna have to just cut this shit off and start from scratch. So that's what the fuck we did. Real quick before we go on, if you'd like to donate to the show, go to cash.me/$YANADAMEEN. That's YANADAMEEN. That's how you spell YANADAMEEN. Or that's how we spell it anyway. Patreon.com/YANADAMEEN or YANADAMEEN.com/support. Okay, so we just came off a great episode with the Queen.
Yes.
Roxanne Shante.
Shouts out to Shante, one of my idols.
People seem to really enjoy that episode.
Yeah, they did.
Just having us sit down and, talk about what we know best, which is this hip-hop shit.
That's right.
And I think,
I was so transfixed. Like, I'm watching all the clips the whole time. I'm just like...
Well, I read one comment was saying, well, did you notice how she didn't hardly look at her? What the fuck are you talking about?
That was so goofy.
Like,
I know,
yeah,
like, I was staring at her the whole time.
Like, some people just want to just say some shit just to say it.
I know.
Like, and yeah, I guess that's the new, what they call trolls these days.
Bless their heart. Yeah, that had to be a troll. I'm like, are you kidding? I couldn't take my eyes off her.
Yeah.
I love her.
So anyway, we said we want to kind of get away from time-sensitive issues because, in all transparency, we shoot this about, a week before
pretty much
it
a week
out.
Before it airs.
Yeah. So we shoot this a week before it airs. So to talk about, whatever the fuck happened yesterday or whatever the case, it's a little stale by the time we get to it.
And it's unfortunate because people really do want to know what we have to say about these things.
And I think there's going to be a fix to that in the future.
Absolutely.
I think with certain really important news, we're just going to have to go live sometimes.
Yeah.
Wherever the fuck we're at.
I was thinking we might just have to do like bust in on Skype, like breaking news.
Exactly, but we're gonna have to set up like
Drake
lights,
just threw in the towel.
You're gonna have to get the lights at your spot, and then I got the lights at my spot, and then we fucking, if shit like that happens, then we'll just bust in on some Skype. Like, listen, we had to bring this shit to you now, or whatever the fuck the case may be. But right now, this is how we doing it, and so we want to keep conversation that's more, just not so time sensitive.
Exactly.
Universal topic.
Not so hot topical, if you will.
Right, some shit that you can talk about today or 5 months from now or 5 years from now.
Classic material.
Yeah, exactly.
Notice my shirt says classic. I know when I wear the vest, it just looks like ass and shit, but it actually says classic. It says
Assy.
classic.
You had the Oh yeah, I got,
See, with the vest on,
when it's covered up, it just
see
says ass. Like, no, it says classic. That's what I meant. I'm not all
Classic.
about ass.
Ass is good.
Yeah, I'm about those Knicks, even though we not about that winning, but I am about these New York Knicks. So that's what
Well, hopefully by the time this
Yeah.
ends, the series will be tied between Golden State.
By the
and
time this
damn
airs, this shit
Cleveland.
could be over. I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying. I'm saying hopefully it'll be tied. I'm hoping it's not a sweep.
hopefully the Knicks will finally. Well, now we got years to go before we can even dream of whatever. That's a whole nother show.
Just got mad emotional.
But I'm still repping Knicks, win or lose. I'm not one of those fair weather fans.
Good for you.
So anyway, I think on a previous show we had discussed, top 5 MCs. And I think I said
It's impossible.
it's impossible to really narrow a 5, even from any little, from each era of hip hop. Like, within each era, I'm sure there's more than 5.
Exactly.
But I think I'd like to go through some of the artists, pardon me, that are in my top category of all time.
Okay.
I'd like to know yours. If you
Okay.
concur with mine, if you don't, let's rap about it.
Or I think our viewers would appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to give you a perspective of, my education,
Okay.
my hip hop education, where I come from, why I see things a certain way. I also, while we have this conversation, I also want to point out, because I think people think I'm real hard on this generation. The little Yakties and all these little motherfuckers. Yes, I say his name wrong.
I think they think that about all of us. I think,
Right.
quote
I'm
unquote,
not
the old heads.
a hater
We just get that
of
label in general.
all things new. I just don't like whack shit, and I never have. And like, there's plenty of shit I can point out from the earliest days of hip hop that I didn't like, that I didn't appreciate, that I thought could have been better. And I think we can bring some of that shit up too in this episode, because it's just being fair. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to see that, yeah, I'm not a fucking hater of this new generation. Like,
Lord Jamar and Rah Digga calls out all things whack.
I'm actually a lover of hip hop.
That's right.
You see? So if you love something, you're going to strive to protect it. You see what I'm saying? You don't want just somebody to throw shit on it.
Absolutely.
Throw shit on some shit you love. Like, come on. You're going to protect that shit. And well, here's why. So let's go to the beginning.
Okay.
And now I'm sure I've said this in many interviews. I probably said this on this show before. But there's 3 main MCs that I give credit for hip hop being able to move forward. Meaning they took it past
The block parties.
well, not just the block parties, but they took it past the yes, y'all, a beat, y'all, a freak it out, y'all, a you don't stop. Because that's kind of what it was at first. Like, that's all you really had to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you could say some little shit like, I ride around in a Def OJ, like.
Because remember, at that time, it was really all about the DJ. The DJ
Yes.
was really what drove the
Come on,
party.
like-
and then the DJ started getting hip. Like, you know what? Let's
not just
put-
the
let's
DJ,
put a
the break
lyricist-
beat. Like, the
the
break
break-
beat
right.
itself was hip
Let's
hop.
put a wordsmith here, just to,
Just to add a little
yeah,
flavor to it. What's your
right.
zodiac sign? All of that
Right.
type of shit motherfuckers was doing. That's what the
Throw
MC
some
was
shimmer on
doing.
it.
Keep it the flow from one record to another and all of that.
Yep.
But when you had people like Kool D, Grandmaster Caz, and Melle, first of all, these 3 guys were part of prolific groups in their own right. And when a lot of people talk about their top 5 and all of it, or their top, they always like try to mention just solo artists. And I think that's a mistake too, because in early hip hop, it was all about the group. Like these guys were standout, but make no mistake about it,
they were part of battling.
They were part of groups, exactly. Cold Crush battled the Force MCs, or Jazzy 5, or the Funky 4 plus 1 more, and all those type of groups.
Right.
So we're throwing down and around, we can't be found to watch the time. The ladies check out this. Hold tight with your design and you look so maybe different for your son of your sponge, we just scare me. Oh yeah. Yeah. We were like rocking in the shocking and never ever stopping. Fantastic rock. I have your fingers rock. The wicked on the beat, we give the records a shot. To make you party, people get up and start to rock.
But these guys, they had rhymes that were, almost to the level of what we hear today, as far as the storytelling and the vivid pictures that were being painted, and just the lyricism, just the level of lyricism. Like, it was like, oh shit. Like, they showed you what hip hop really could be. And at that point, I feel like real MCs were born from watching these guys.
Okay.
You understand?
Oh, you just made me think of something. Like, I have a feeling as we continue to have
there's going to be a lot of revelations that come to us.
I almost forgot. Yeah.
So you had dudes like this. Oh, I got to mention Spoonie Gee. Spoonie Gee, and I got a picture of me and Spoonie Gee that, we could throw up in the edit that I just took with him recently. I was saying, so like, the first time I heard a Spoonie Gee record, I might have been like 8 years old. Like, love rap. And like, I still remember this shit to this day. Like, I was saying the rhymes for this dude. Like, he was one of the first MCs to like give up game, like street game, or how to deal with women, and don't spend your money. And
I believe Ice-T credits Spoonie Gee for like kind of with his direction and
maybe because Spoonie Gee was a bad motherfucker, and just the way he almost rhymed like a pimp, like the way how smooth he used to rhyme was almost like a fucking pimp. And he used to be saying some pimpish type of shit. I was cruising down the street in my SL when I seen this girl.
I'm pretty positive.
Very well.
Ice-T basically said he got in so many words, he kind of admitted to swagger jacking Spoonie Gee.
And Spoonie Gee let me know he was only 16, 17 at the time he's making these records. And he's telling people, like, you know what I mean? Like don't let girls, don't let all this shit go to your head with money and all this type of shit. They're going to play you. They want to hang out today, smoke cheap, sniff coke, then see you later. Alligator when you broke. Like, come on, man. He gave up game for a young motherfucker.
Yeah.
So we got to mention Spoonie Gee. Now, as we go on, you had another dope lyricist that I think a lot of people forget about, was a guy named DLB from the Fearless Four. You know that song?
Shouts out to
Rocking it. Yes, we are rocking it. Come on,
That's
Tito. All right, shout out to Tito. DLB was a bad motherfucker, and I think he was underrated in his time. But I'm telling you, he was the standout guy in that group, and he was a really dope fucking MC.
You know who else was dope? And I actually heard them spit a verse not too long ago, and still nice. But I was doing Fearless for radio. We did like a little round table cipher.
Okay.
I actually got a little nervous going after him. I'm like, wait a minute. Never in Rah Digga's life have I ever been scared to rap.
Who gave you shaky boots?
Oh my God. I want to say, is it Mike C? Let me fact check. Let me do my Googles real quick. But I want to say, I know he told the story of being the the first person to battle LL or something. Is it? Let me check.
Interesting. Well, speaking of LL, while you're checking,
he credits himself being the original pretty boy from Queens. So
hold up.
Hold
up.
I want to say God, it's Mike C, Mike D, Mike G. I wanted one of those alphabets. I gotta
listen.
check. If you're watching, you know what I'm talking about.
If you gotta listen, with all due respect to the brother, like, if you gotta do all of this to figure out who he is, I'm sorry, bro. You don't get on this list. Like, LL Cool J is that guy.
I mean, he wasn't LL.
Okay, so why are we even bringing this up?
Why bring him up? Because he was not. Because we actually, like, did some verses, and I was like, wait, whoa.
And you was nervous because he was nice right now.
I ain't even going front. Like, I kind of was like feeling a little lax. It's like, okay, we got the 80s rappers. Like,
you thought it was gonna be pushover.
Like this,
He's gonna be like, and then I come to rock all the time, rocking with my rhymes. And you was like, I'm gonna roast his fucking ass. This nigga was like, beep, 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 beep.
Yo,
flipping it and bouncing it and shit on your ass.
Man, listen.
Okay.
I'm gonna get it right. Go.
All right, let's move on. Run DMC, because a lot of people talk about just solo artists. No, fucking groups, man. Groups was the shit. Run DMC, LL Cool J, MC Shan. I don't think people really fucking remember how dope MC Shan was at the time when all of these beats and my rhymes attached. Form a new creation called a Molly Scratch. Yo, that was my shit right there. That fucking beat. Go back and listen to that, Digga, because you was only like 2 years old when that came out, right?
Yep. That's right. That's right.
So go back and listen to fucking Molly Scratch by MC Shan. Go back and listen to Jane, Stop This Crazy Thing. Yo, them shits, and they was bumping in the clubs and all of that type of shit. Latin Quarters, and you know what I mean? Funhouse, Roxy's, all of that type of shit. Just Ice. Just Ice was just one of the, like, he might have been the first one to call himself a gangster on rap. The gangster of rap, Just Ice. And he was God body.
Right.
Like, Just Ice was Diesel with a mouthful of gold teeth. And that shit was just right up my alley. I was like, yo.
That was your guy?
What? I was like, this motherfucker looks scary as fuck. That's the type. That's what I'm talking about right there. Like, he's just on it. Oh. And the first time I ever seen him, like, perform at the Quarters, he had a fucking hoodie on.
I miss Hip Hop Bullies.
Tied up all tight.
Fox.
You know what I mean? He looked like a stick-up kid on the fucking stage. I was like, wow, this is a real street nigga right here. And I was loving it. KRS-ONE.
Oh, yeah.
KRS-ONE. Knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everyone. This man, first of all, he took us through so many chambers.
Yes, he did.
You know, from Criminal Minded to Edutainment to, you know, or, you know, he took us through mad chambers. But this guy, man, I mean, and even to this day, we just did the show at, you know, the Barclays for, you know, the UMTV Raps joint, and he closed out the show. And this man, you know, rightfully so. Like, this motherfucker is a hell of a performer, got hella hits, and yeah, bad motherfucker. The obvious, Rakim, the God Rakim, the God Big Daddy Kane, King Asiatic, nobody's equal.
Now you're actually moving. Now you're.
I'm moving a little faster.
Okay.
Well, see. This all is the 80s.
Oh, right.
Like, because, you know.
But they feel like worlds apart, but it was all one decade.
You know, I was saying earlier, like, back in the days.
Because technically, we're both considered 90s rappers, but you're way older than me.
Way older than me.
Way older than me.
Way on farting dust as we sit here. Anyway. It seems like when you're younger, 3, 4, 5 years is a hell of a long time. And it seems like a hell of a long gap between people. Like, when you were a child, 5 years was the difference between, you know, I'm in elementary and you're in high school or some shit like that. But now, 5 years is, you know, If you're 40 and I'm 45, we're the same fucking age, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think once you get past 40, like, you're all one.
We're all the same age. But so you have like, okay, from let's say 80 to like maybe 83 would be more of that Cold Crush Furious 5 type of era. You know, maybe even a little before that. They might have been rocking.
I want to say
79
like late
or something.
70s.
Yeah, but I'm saying I remember specifically a Cold Crush routine where there was like, well, it's 1981, and then it's I don't remember all the words to that one, but it's 1981. You see what I'm saying? And that was like the prime of some Cold Crush shit. None of these other groups was out yet, as far as like Run DMC and all of that type of shit. At least not on record.
I was gonna say, like once you get into Run DMC, like that becomes like where my memory, that's pretty much like the. I want to say before, not that everything was a blur, but I was really, really young, so a lot of those honestly,
you can be a fetus by the time you we finish
like,
this show.
A lot of the iconic groups from the late 70s, they were all kind of like, they were just names and numbers to me, whereas the music didn't really start resonating with me until until Shantae came along, until Run DMC came along. So
okay, they first appeared in 83.
Run DMC
first came out with It's Like That.
Yeah.
In 83. So that's what I'm saying. Now, Cold Crush and them was still around in 83, don't get me wrong. And they even made a record called Fresh, Wild, Fly, and Bold, probably around the same time. But that record, to me, now if we want to talk about certain things that I wasn't happy with, for the Cold Crush, that record to me, it just didn't capture their essence. Mm-hmm. Like they was one of those groups that was just so dope on tape. Mm-hmm. Like the Cold Crush routines that they had and just the break beats they used to rock off of.
Right.
Yo, I really wanted to like this record. And I liked it. It was cool. But it just... I knew that it didn't and it didn't become a hit. It didn't break out like some other records did because it was hard to capture certain groups' essence because some groups were better on tape than on record. The 83 would be the beginning of that Run DMC era. Shortly after that, you got LL.
Well, you know why that happens? Because now, remind you, with the tape, a lot of these routines were getting captured on stage in the moment. So it
not
was
even on stage, behind the table,
okay.
Because this was at the rec center. Like a lot of times, like I was so naive when I first heard hip hop. Like when they said "say ho," I believed they was at like the Garden or some shit like that. I didn't know where they was at. But it sounded like a lot of people to me.
Then they try to recreate these moments in the studio, and it's not the same element.
You know what? We're gonna talk more about recreating these moments in the studio when we get back, because that's part of what I didn't like about hip hop. How, especially in the Sugar Hill era, these motherfuckers would try to replay the break beats, and I didn't understand, why they just didn't use the records like I heard on tape. So when we get back, we're going to go more into this because this is a very in-depth conversation. This is and I also want to know your side, too, as far as females and all of it. Yeah, so when we get back, I know I did
very loaded.
I did a lot of talking on this one.
Yeah, because that was your day.
That was my day. You was still attached to an umbilical cord at this time.
Right.
You know what I mean? GODCAST. We'll be back. absence of all confusion. United we stand, divided we fall. 2 fingers together is the real peace sign, y'all. Brand Nubian peace gear. Hoodies. T-shirts. Snapbacks. Available at hoodg.com. Get yours today.